Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today gonna show you guys the new wheels that I got for the Can-Am X3. I know it's been a while since I made a video, and mostly because I've been painting the house, painting the white, painting the borders, all the stuff. It's been a chore and I haven't had time to make videos, but today I want to show you guys the new KM3s that I got on my new method wheels. Since you guys saw the thumbnail and saw the beginning intro of this video, I want to show you guys how to put them together, the steps it takes to put them together, the tools you're going to need, and the differences and actual height of these wheels compared to the original 30-inch bighorns that come on the Can-Am X3. So it's a pretty skinny tire, as you can see. It's actually a little bit skinnier, or almost the same as a bighorn, definitely taller, and obviously this is worn down a little bit, but it's definitely a taller tire. They're both at around 18 psi, and yeah, that's pretty much the size comparison when it comes to the height of the tire. Definitely look beefier. I'm very happy with how they look. The reason I got these is because they're supposed to be true 32s, which they're not quite, but they are very close, and I'll measure them in just a second. The second reason I went with these is because, you know, BFG, they make amazing tires. They're a quality tire, and even though people say they're heavy, they are definitely a quality tire. It says Baja Champion on the side. They've raced these in Baja 1000 and the 500 and Mint and everything. So these are great tires to have. I'm definitely very happy with them so far, as far as how they look, the design of them. And another thing is, I need to fit this Can-Am X3 in my toy hauler, and I've been doing that just fine with 30s. And a 6x1 factory offset. Now my new offset on these method wheels are 5x2, and they're definitely gonna be a tight squeeze. So the skinnier the tire, the better, and the KM3s are definitely a skinnier tire on the market. So the reason I went with the method 405s is I love the look. I love the, you know, the 6-star pattern here, and I like how the bolts are kind of recessed into the beadlock and are protected by the beadlock ring. So that's pretty cool. The valve stem also is kind of in the rim, and I got these powder coated to match the car. They're a little darker, but for 40 bucks for all four, I can't complain. Candy blue for 40 bucks, I mean, cheap. So I'm very happy with the way they came out. The gold bolts, that's the hardware that comes with the Method wheels. Method, thank you. Shout out to Method for giving me a discount. Shout out to my wife because she bought me this tire and rim setup for Father's Day. So I appreciate that, babe. You are amazing. You're awesome. Awesome rim tires. We'll show you guys how to put them together, and we'll show you what it takes. All you need is some basic hand tools, and then we get to them right now. All right, so what you're gonna need to install one of these tires on one of these wheels with the beadlock ring, obviously you're gonna need the parts. You're gonna need a new wheel, whether it be from Method, from Fuel, from whatever brand you choose with. You're gonna have the tire that matches the size. So this is a 15-inch rim, 15-inch tire, yada yada yada, and there's a bucket. So that's one of our special tools. Not really, but I like using the bucket, and I'll show you guys that in just a second and why I like using it. And let's go on with the tools. So for the tools, we're gonna need a dirty rag, just a shop rag you have laying around. We're gonna need a pry bar. This is a Milwaukee pry bar. I don't know what size this is, about 2 feet long. You're gonna need a ratchet, preferably electric, so you don't spend all day doing these. For this particular rim, you're gonna need what I believe is a 1/2 inch. Is it 1/2 inch? Yeah, it's a 1/2 inch socket that we're gonna need for the beadlock rings on this particular style rim. You're gonna need a valve stem tool because you want to take the valve core out when you want to let air out quickly, or I mean, you don't need this, but I like using it. You're gonna need a valve stem installer or pooler. You can find these on Amazon. I'll leave a link to these because this was cheap, 12 bucks. It came with this, and a few other things, so I'll leave a link for that. You're gonna need a torque wrench. This is a 3/8 torque wrench. We're gonna torque the bolts down to make sure they're nice and tight on the beadlock ring, and you won't have any issues. All right, so let's measure these real quick. I'll put these up straight. Almost 32, I would say 31 3/4. And this is the 30-inch Maxxis stock bighorn with the original OEM rims, and it's at about, I want to say 29 3/4. So both of them are about a 1/4 inch short of what they're advertised, but that's not a big deal. You definitely see the difference, and I'm definitely excited to put these on. All right, so let me show you guys how to get this tire on this rim. 15-inch tire, 15-inch rim. Probably take 15 minutes, to be honest. So let's do it real quick. We're gonna take the beadlock ring and set it aside for now. We're gonna get our rim. put it right there. They do have these protective sleeves over the back side. Since we're doing it on the carpet, we're not gonna need that. So take this off, throw it away. It's nice that they give you those. Then we're gonna get your rim. I'm gonna do a barcode facing outward only because that's how I did the other ones. No other particular reason. So alright, so this process shouldn't take very long, but it is going to require a little bit of muscle and a little bit of force. So we're going to put a little bit of soapy water on the back side of this wheel. And you know what? Before we do that, so we don't struggle, let's put the valve stem in first. Let's get your valve stem installer / puller. Get your valve stem, put it through the hole. Put your puller on there, spin it on. And I like to give it a spray. Just pull it through. And that's it. Pops right on. And that'll be your valve stem. Now next you're gonna put your wheel. I'm gonna put the barcode facing out only because that's how I did the other ones. I don't think it matters. There's no outside or inside marking the tire or direction. So pretty straightforward. Put some lube on it. We're gonna put it over the wheel like that. So this lip of the wheel is already over it, and this lip of the wheel isn't, and that's the lip we're gonna have to force over the rim. So that's when your rag comes in handy so you don't scratch your wheel, and the pry bar comes in handy. So I'll put you guys right here, and I'll go ahead and do that right now. So we're gonna position our pry bar first, and then put it back just how we had it. Just like that. Use my knees for some leverage, and then just force it over. Okay, so there it popped over, but only half of it did. So we're gonna have to continue and move the pry bar over just a little bit and pop it over again. And there we go. And that's it. So that's the hardest part, honestly, is forcing it over. Make sure you don't lose your rag and leave it in there. So now that the that first bead is popped over the top of the rim, you can go ahead and kind of even it out. You can see where the bead has the indentation. See all those little balls? That's where the bead rides on. So make sure the bead is centered on the rim. There's a lip that the tire will be over, and right there looks pretty centered. Then we'll grab our ring, we'll start running in our bolts, and then we'll I'll show you guys. We're gonna do that by hand first, a couple threads so you don't strip the threads, because these are aluminum wheels and you don't want to jack up the threads. And then we'll go ahead and start torquing them down. So let's do that now. All right, so they do give you washers, and they do give you lots of bolts. It takes about 24, I think, or maybe it was 26, something like that. But they give you grade A hardware. They're gold, which actually gives it a good look. So we're gonna go ahead and start installing these now. Put the beadlock ring with these bevel little balls, the same that are on the rim, facing downward. That's what pinches the bead and locks your bead on there. We'll put those on there just like that. There's no orientation, just pretty much put it on there, center it as best as you can. Start putting your washers on. All right, next we'll just put in all the bolts. All right, so this is extremely important. You gotta make sure that all these bolts, you hand thread them in at least 2 threads, just to make sure that they don't get cross-threaded, because the wheel's aluminum, and if you jack up the threads on this aluminum wheel, you're gonna be kicking yourself in the face. So the reason I'm showing you guys how to do this is you guys can maybe think about doing this yourself at your house, because if you have somebody do them for you, you don't know how good of a job they did. And the local kid at your power sports place is not gonna give a crap unless he's you know, very motivated and is honest. But you know, most of the guys don't really care. So for the most part, you'll see people just jack these in with a impact, which isn't a bad idea. It's not bad of idea, but personally I don't want to do that, because again, aluminum threads, you don't want to just jack up your aluminum threads because you slipped and hit that trigger too hard and damaged the threads on the rim, and then you complain the method when you know damn well it was your fault. All right, now that you have all your bolts threaded in by hand, Just make sure your tire is still centered. You're gonna go ahead and get your electric ratchet to save yourself some time. I recommend using something like this, or maybe even a drill with the clutch setting very low so you don't strip out these bolts or over tighten them. You want to go little by little all around in a star pattern to get this beadlock to evenly go down and squish the bead on this tire. You want to do this even so the tire isn't, you know, off to one side, and it'll give you a vibration. So you don't want to do that. You want to do this star pattern and alternating back and forth. You don't want to yank one down all the way down until it bottoms out. You want to just, you know, keep going little by little, and the beadlock ring will slowly be pulled down, and then eventually it'll get to a point where you can use your torque wrench and tying these down to 25 foot-pounds. But before you get to that, save yourself some time and get yourself an electric ratchet or drill and you know, bring these down. All right, the last step on the beadlock wheel is tying down the bolts with a torque wrench. We're doing these to 25 foot-pounds. Get yourself a 3/8 torque wrench. You can find one of these at Harbor Freight. This happens to be a Matco. I don't use it that often, so I brought it home. And let's go ahead and tighten these down. So again, use a star pattern, and then eventually just do one by one until they're all tight at 25 foot-pounds. So it might take a while, but you can get it done.
A few moments later.
Alright, so that took literally 9 minutes according to the GoPro. It took forever to torque these one by one over and over again until I finally got 25 foot-pounds on every single one. Yeah, you can use an impact like this one, but you run the risk of damaging the threads, and I don't want to do that because my wife bought me these wheels, or you know, if I bought these wheels myself, whatever, they're not cheap. So luckily Method did give us a discount, so shout out to Method. But still, these rims aren't cheap. So yeah, let's go ahead to the final step, which is putting air in it, and that's where the bucket comes into play, because that way the bead won't pop and hurt you, or you know, ricochet off the wheel like you'll see in this next clip. This way is going to be a lot safer because the tire has nowhere to go, because the rim is going to be floating on the bucket. So let's put air in it and let's go ahead and get this done. Alright, so the max tire pressure on this is 30 psi. You might have to go a little bit over that in order to get the bead to pop. So 35 psi is what the other ones were popping at. Hopefully this will do the same. So after that, we're going to have to let the air out because that's too much. I kind of want to run them at 18 psi. That's kind of like a good pressure for high speed desert riding, which I like to do. Alright, so now that the bead popped, we can let some of the air out because it's too high, and you could just let the air out little by little, but you could use the tool that came in the kit that I put link in the description for it. I'm not making any money off of it, it's just cheap tools and they are useful. So I like to let the air out this way because it takes a lot less time. I like this Milwaukee air compressor. I take this actually in the Can-Am X3. It's in my center bag at all times, just in case I get a flat. I could patch it up or plug it up and then use this compressor to put air in it. I'm gonna do a video on all the tools I carry on the X3. I don't carry a lot. I don't carry a spare, I don't carry a jack, but I do carry a lot of tools that will help me get out of situations like changing a bout, tying up a bolt, and changing a wheel if I have to. So check it out. Alright, so the last step is putting on the wheels. Before I do that, I want to measure the width of the rear suspension, same as the front. The reason I'm doing that is because the offset on the factory wheels are 6x1. The new offset is 5x2, so I'm supposed to get 2 inches wider, but then again, the tires are thinner than the Bighorns. They look thinner, and I'm thinking I might be in the same exact spot, same exact width. So I'm going to measure the width of this, jack it up, swap the wheels, get the scrub out of it, and then measure again with the new wheels. So obviously the height is great, but the width is what I'm curious about because I need to fit it in the Attitude toy hauler. Alright, so that's 71.5 inches. So if you're curious why it's not 72 inches, it's because the car's suspension is set up higher than a 72-inch factory car, because the wheels are scrubbed out more because the vehicles come lower, at least in this year, 2018. So let's swap the wheels and see what difference that makes. Well, these wheels definitely look better on the car. I'm gonna give you guys some day shots tomorrow so you get a better view of the car. Maybe wash the car so it looks a lot better. Cause man, it's still filthy, still dusty. But yeah, let's measure the rear width to see what happened, what changed, and we'll wrap the video up. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it. As always, thanks for watching the video. Shit! Oh shit, I almost died. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching as always and for supporting me. A lot of you guys have been watching the videos, supporting me, commenting, hitting me up on Instagram. I do really appreciate it. And yeah, let's see where this takes us. So we're gonna be making some more videos coming out soon. I got some LM UTV radius rods, and these things are freaking beefy for my buddy's Turbo S. So we're gonna get some razors on the channel. And yeah, stay tuned. Also, Shine Supply wash video coming out soon. We got hot shot, we got whole shot, we got clutch. This is the UTV kit, and we'll show you guys more of that in depth. Me and Timmy will be washing the X3 and show you guys how to wash your UTV properly. See you guys next time. Peace out. All right, so the width is 71 inches, a ½ inch less width than the stock setup, which is a little weird. The 5x2s, I did measure them. We had about a ½ inch on each side more width, so you would think it would go out another inch, or at least be another inch in width more, but it's not. It's actually narrower, and that's because of the tires. The tires are really narrow, so no big deal. I like it, I love it. And once these wear out, I'll probably still get them again, because they look awesome. They're 32s, and they're gonna fit in the toy hauler just perfect. So see you guys next time.